Hey guys, this is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with my midday analysis. Just a quick notification before the analysis. Right now, the Forex Mastermind course is open for enrollment for a few days. Visit the link below this video to check out the course. So before I start the analysis, I want to explain how it works so you can actually use it in your trading. On most Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I hold a live analysis session for my Forex Mastermind students. These sessions are recorded and posted to YouTube. I say most because some days I'm busy and other days I'm not trading, and I have a rule: when I'm not trading, I do not post analysis. In the analysis, I look for price action reversal setups on around 10 to 20 pairs that I'm currently trading. I check every time frame for every pair, taking a systematic approach to doing analysis. Personally, I do this analysis several times per day, but only the midday session is recorded as most setups are spotted then. So what are setups? A reversal setup occurs when price stalls at an area of support resistance and a transition of power occurs, from buyers to sellers or from sellers to buyers. I wait for price to approach these areas and spot potential setups. But these setups are not actual trades. When I share a setup on this analysis, it doesn't mean I'm entering the trade right away. Setups are just setups, and many setups do not trigger, so they never actually become trades. But some of them do, of course, and some of them become trades. To understand this, you have to know a little bit about my strategy, which I share for free on forexfornoobs.com, and there's a link to the strategy also below. I use 4 different tags in the name of these analysis videos. The tags are in brackets at the end of the name. It's important to know these tags just so you understand what is in the video. So if you see no setups, that means there are no setups today, obviously. If you see upcoming setups on, that means there are no setups, but I have spotted some very strong support resistance areas, which may lead to setups later in the day. So that could be anywhere between a few hours to a whole day. And if it's tagged with setups on, that means there are setups today, and I'm sharing potential trades in the video itself. So let's get started with the analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of September 2017, and the time is 15:05 here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDJPY daily chart, so let's get started with the analysis and look for some setups. Okay, so right now, we actually have a potential setup forming on AUDJPY. If you look to the left, this is one of the most important rules in trading, really, looking to the left. Looking to the left always gives you a lot of good information. So looking to the left, what does AUDJPY daily chart tell us right now? It tells us that this is a very important high for AUDJPY and that price struggles to break through this high. It's made 2 attempts recently, and both times it couldn't get through there. The second time it reversed quite significantly. Let's see if there's any times before that. Not quite up there. There's a few bounces here back in 2014, but it's a pretty fresh resistance area. So right now it's in this area again, and it looks to already be slowing down. Well, it doesn't look to be slowing down. It is slowing down. There's pretty much no way that you could say it isn't. We have like this big indecision candle forming right on top of here. It'll be clearer if we drop down to a smaller time frame. You'll see how it's slowing down here. So we can see on the 6 hour, as soon as it got here, it turned around, came up, came back down. So it's clear that buyers aren't in strong control of price anymore. They're struggling for control. So what does that mean for us? That doesn't mean we can jump into a trade right now, but that means that it is very possible that a trade is coming. What I would want to see on this pair right now would be this current daily candle to not create any newer high beyond the recent candle, because that would be an indication that buyers are losing control of price. Even better would be for this current bullish body to shrink down to here, maybe even close with a slightly bearish body. That would be awesome, something like that. But any indication that sellers are taking control of price, that bears are taking control on this daily candle would be good for us. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on this. Hopefully it closes well and it gives us a potential short trade. But there is definitely a possibility that this is going to turn into a short trade. We just have to wait and see. But, you know, this is just if it closes like that. You got to keep in mind when we spot this kind of stuff, it doesn't mean that I am saying a reversal is coming. What I am saying is if it closes well, if sellers start to take control, then I might enter a reversal trade. But maybe not. Maybe buyers retain control of price and they keep pushing up. So I'm not saying that we're going to get a reversal. I'm saying we have to keep a close eye on it and we might get a reversal setup. So potential setup on AUDJPY, guys. Cool. AUDUSD. What's going on with AUDUSD? Could be a continuation, but I just don't like the setup. It's way too messy. It's pretty high in the resistance area. So I just, yeah. Sorry, I meant low in the support area, not high in the resistance area. Low in the support area. It's a bit too messy. I'm not really that interested in it. All right, CAUDJPY. All right. Yeah. So there's potential here on the daily right now. Yeah, but this time the risk to reward ratio just won't be optimal for us. Because I would be wanting to use the high of this candle as a stop loss. If you wanted to use the high of the current candle, the previous candle. So wait, let me start over, guys. I'd want to use the high of this candle as my stop loss, which is up here, because that would be the safest stop loss in this case. If you want to slightly bend the rules, you could use the high of this candle as a stop loss, and that might just give you enough. That might just give you enough of a... No, it doesn't. Never mind. I was thinking maybe, but it doesn't. Yeah, so the risk to reward ratio on this is a bit iffy. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. That just means I'm not going to take it. I don't like taking trades like this where by the time it reaches the support area, it's only got a 1.5 risk reward ratio. I want to at least hit a 2 by the time it hits the support area. So at least for it to be at 2 by the time it gets to the support area. So with the AUDJPY example, it was getting to 2 when it got to the support area. This one, it's not quite. It's hitting a 1.5, so it's just not worth it for me personally. But that being said, it is a potential setup. What is happening here is buyers have gone into an area of resistance. They're stalling. So, you know, you might be able to, if you want to, get in for a short trade, but I just think it's way too risky with this one. All right, EURJPY. Okay, so EURJPY. Ah, okay. It looks like it's reversing already, so... Huh. I'm curious about taking a short here. All right, risk to reward ratio works for us. This is interesting. It's a counter trend trade because it is still trending up. Counter trend trade. It's against a pretty massive trend. Smaller time frame. It's not one of the large time frames.
George is saying previous resistance had a nice small bounce to it. Yeah, the previous resistance did. When it approached it, bam, it turned around. I mean, it's interesting. I'm just apprehensive to trade against this trend. The euro is quite strong right now. I'm apprehensive to jump in against the euro on one of these on a smaller time frame. That being said, it does look like a half decent setup. It might be worth it. All right, let's keep a close eye on this one, guys. Let's discuss it further on the forum. It looks decent. I might enter it. I'm going to try and wrap up this analysis quick so I can do some proper, so I can go through this one properly and figure out if it's something I want to trade, because it looks like it's probably going to trigger soon. So, in fact, it's technically already triggered, but only barely. I wouldn't have entered that quick anyway. I want to do some further analysis on this one and figure out if it's worth entering. We'll discuss it further on the forum, but it looks good right now. Do keep a close eye on EURJPY. All right, so where were we? EURAUD? Yeah, we haven't done EURAUD. I mean, it's clearly bouncing from this resistance area, but it's such a weak setup. I'm not too bothered with that. EURJPY, it's right in the middle of support resistance. You could say there's resistance here currently, but it's such a weird area on EURJPY. This whole area here, it's really hard to get good support resistance on this. It's hard to figure out where it sits, because you could argue that there's a resistance area here, support resistance area, or maybe a tad higher. You could argue that there's one here, or you could say there's one where I have it, or you could say there's one slightly higher, something like there. It's very difficult to drill down on good support resistance in this area, just because it's an area that price hasn't really been at that much. The last time it was up here this high was in 2009 until recently, where it came up here. So it's hard to get good solid support resistance areas here. 2009, then briefly in 2016, but as we see in 2016, it pretty much just went straight through, and on its way back down, it stalled very little before pushing down. So it's hard to get good support resistance around here. You know, there is potential for a short continuation here for those who want to trade it, but I'm probably not going to. Resistance is just a bit too iffy on this one, so yeah, I'm gonna skip that. All right, USDJPY, what's going on with that? This was looking good earlier today, but now it's pushed down a little too far, hasn't it? Perhaps on the 12-hour, it's already triggered, but it would be too late to enter. Is anyone short on this already? The other problem I have with this is the risk to reward ratio is quite bad. Sorry, George, I forgot to answer your second question. USDJPY, I'm going to keep a close eye on it, but I don't really see much potential here. It looked okay earlier today, but it's pushed down too far by this point, so it's just a bit too late. Euro New Zealand, it's in between support resistance, so there's nothing much going on there. Euro USD is in between support resistance, so there's nothing much that we can do with this. GBPAUD, Jermaine, you're in. We'll go back and look at it in a minute. GBPAUD, the problem with all these GBP pairs at the moment is they've shot up like crazy, and then they just turned around in a random spot. So they didn't turn around at an area of support resistance. They just turned around randomly in the middle of nowhere. I really am apprehensive about entering any GBP trades right now, simply because we don't know if this trend is over, this massive trend, or if this is just a temporary lull in the trend before it continues. It's not on an established area of support resistance. So I think it's way too risky entering a trade. So I'm not going to do anything with the GBPAUD or GBPCAD. Similar situation there. GBPJPY, again, similar situation. It's in between support resistance, so I'm just not interested. GBP New Zealand, similar situation, in between support resistance. GBP USD, it's above our highest resistance area. Let's see if we can quickly place another. How far back do we have to go for support resistance on GBP USD? $2009. That's a long way back. Well, if it's all the data we have, I'm just going to make use of it for now, but it's not very useful to us. This resistance area is very likely going to change, but like I said, it's the only data we have, so I'm just going to throw it up for now. See, this is that kind of that no man's land, if you want to call it, post Brexit. It just shot through here. And then it spent a long time down here. Now it's going back up, but that means that we don't have much support resistance for this whole area here. We don't have support resistance, so we don't know really where support resistance is, if there even is any. So we just got to wait for fresh data. This happens periodically. Ugh, I don't know why I can't say that word today. Periodically with pairs, where they'll push into areas that they haven't seen for like a decade or 2 decades, or that they've never seen. So it takes a while for us to get good support resistance in those areas, because we need to place support resistance areas based on fresh data. So yeah. I don't really see much happening with GBPUSD. The only thing I see on GBPUSD potentially happening is if it sinks back down to this current support area we have. If it sinks back down to here, we can get in long for a continuation trade. So that is possibly going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. So New Zealand JPY, it was a continuation trade here on the 6 hour, but it's way too late to enter that. New Zealand USD, just way too messy, not interested. USD CAD, in between support resistance, nothing. USD CHF. Sorry guys, I'm rushing the end of this analysis because I want to get a good look at EURJPY and run some numbers on it, see if it's worth the risk. And finally gold. Gold is sinking back down, which is great for me because I want to buy. I don't know my support resistance areas on gold though. I'm looking for a good long opportunity on gold. If it sinks back down to the 129.0.80, roughly here, that will give us a good long opportunity. But yeah, here maybe even two. Whatever. I don't have my support resistance areas. We'll go over gold tomorrow, guys. So I think that wraps it up for the analysis. What we're looking at potentially right now. AUDJPY, possible short trade coming up. EURJPY, short trade on lower time frames like the 8 hour. It's already kind of triggered. I want to take a very close look at this one and decide whether it's worth entering. USDJPY, it's already triggered. It's a bit too late, but who knows? Maybe there's a chance to get back in on a pullback or something like that.
Thanks for watching the analysis. I hope it was useful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below. In case you missed it, Forex Mastermind, my online training course and forum, is now open for enrollment for a few days. Check it out by clicking the link below this video. Also, for instant notifications when I post analysis or other cool videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Once the setups I share in this analysis trigger, I post live updates as I manage the trade, such as my entry, exit, stop, and when to get out of the trade. For these updates, add me on Facebook or Twitter by clicking the buttons below. I'll see you in the next video.